Aging does not begin with wrinkles or weakness. It begins with confusion, with cells receiving signals they were never designed to interpret, with a body built for rhythm forced into constant excess. Long before disease is diagnosed, long before blood tests turn red, biology starts adapting to an environment that feels unsafe. Not violently unsafe, comfortably unsafe. And sugar is one of the most powerful signals creating that illusion. Not because it is evil, but because it is persuasive. It arrives as pleasure, reward, normality. And while the conscious mind debates calories and cravings, the deeper systems of the body are rewriting their rules. Your body is not wearing out, it is responding. Every cell listens to the chemical language of its surroundings. Glucose levels, insulin pulses, inflammatory signals, repair cues. These are not abstract ideas, they are instructions. When sugar enters the bloodstream repeatedly, rapidly, without the context of movement or scarcity, it tells the cell that energy is endless, that survival is guaranteed, that repair can wait. And when repair is postponed often enough, damage becomes identity. This is what aging really is, the slow loss of cellular discipline. Inside your cells, mitochondria convert nutrients into usable energy. They evolved under pressure, under hunger, under effort. They are efficient when fuel is limited and demand is real. But excess sugar forces them into constant overproduction. Electrons spill, reactive oxygen species accumulate, oxidative stress rises, proteins misfold, DNA takes hits. The cell does not collapse, it adapts by lowering performance. Fatigue becomes familiar, focus dulls, recovery slows. Not because the body is failing, but because it is protecting itself from overload. Sugar also distorts hormonal rhythm. Insulin is meant to rise briefly and fall, like a tide responding to need. Chronic sugar intake flattens that rhythm. Insulin remains elevated. Cells defend themselves by resisting its signal. Glucose lingers in the blood. Sugar begins binding to proteins in a process called glycation, stiffening tissues and distorting structure. Blood vessels lose elasticity, collagen hardens, neural signaling slows. Aging becomes architecture, not just appearance. But the deepest shift happens where you rarely look, the gut. The gut is not a digestive pipe. It is a living interface between the outside world and your immune system, metabolism, and brain. Trillions of microbes interpret what you eat and translate it into chemical messages. Fiber feeds diversity. Polyphenols feed balance. Sugar feeds dominance. A few microbes thrive, many disappear. Diversity collapses. The gut lining weakens. Inflammatory molecules slip into circulation. The immune system stays activated not because there is an enemy, but because the boundary has failed. Chronic inflammation does not announce itself. It hums quietly beneath daily life. It interferes with insulin signaling. It alters hormone balance. It clouds cognition. The brain senses instability and seeks relief. Dopamine pathways shift. Cravings intensify. Sugar becomes both the trigger and the temporary comfort. This is not a failure of discipline. It is biology responding to a distorted signal. Yet aging is not fixed. It is responsive. It bends to information. When the signal changes, biology changes with it. When sugar intake drops, insulin sensitivity improves. Blood sugar stabilizes. Mitochondria regain efficiency. Oxidative stress declines. The cell remembers how to repair itself. This memory was never lost, it was suppressed. Fasting is one of the most precise ways to restore that signal, not as deprivation, but as communication. In the absence of constant glucose, the body shifts metabolic gears. Autophagy activates. Damaged proteins are dismantled and recycled. Old mitochondria are removed and replaced. NAD+ levels rise, fueling enzymes like sirtuins that protect DNA and coordinate cellular repair. These systems are ancient, conserved across evolution, waiting for scarcity to give them permission to act. Movement amplifies this message. Exercise is not about weight loss, it is about genetic instruction. Muscle contraction opens glucose channels without insulin, draining excess sugar from the bloodstream. It tells your genes that strength is required, that energy must be available on demand. This single signal activates pathways linked to longevity, resilience, and metabolic control. Stress, when intentional and controlled, becomes medicine. Hormesis is the biological principle that small doses of stress strengthen systems. Cold exposure, heat, fasting, intense effort, these challenges activate survival pathways that fortify cells. Sugar removes challenge and replaces it with sedation. The result is fragility disguised as comfort. Light orchestrates this entire process. Circadian rhythms synchronize hormones, metabolism, and repair. Artificial light at night paired with sugar-driven insulin spikes confuses this clock. Melatonin drops, growth hormone release weakens, sleep becomes shallow, repair is delayed. Aging accelerates quietly, not because darkness is harmful, but because rhythm has been broken. Sleep is not rest, it is reconstruction. During deep sleep, the brain clears metabolic waste, tissues repair microdamage, hormones recalibrate. Sugar destabilizes this process by spiking blood glucose and overstimulating the nervous system. The cost is paid slowly, night after night, in accelerated aging. Discipline is not punishment. It is identity expressed through repetition. Every choice you repeat sends a message to trillions of cells about who you are becoming. Someone signaling endless abundance without effort, or someone signaling resilience, intention, and control. The body does not judge these signals, it obeys them. Longevity is not about extending life at the end, it is about preserving function, clarity, and strength across time. Sugar does not destroy you overnight, it erodes you through repetition, and repetition can be rewritten. The same consistency that created decline can create recovery. Modern science now confirms what intuition once knew. Biological age is flexible. It can move forward or backward, depending on the environment you create. Cells can regain sensitivity, systems can recalibrate, the gut can restore diversity, inflammation can quiet, energy can return. The body is not broken, it is overwhelmed. When sugar is reduced, noise fades. When challenge is reintroduced, ancient programs awaken. When sleep is protected, repair accelerates. When movement becomes non-negotiable, metabolism remembers its purpose. These are not hacks, they are alignments with the expectations written into your biology. The most powerful transformation is quiet. Fewer spikes, fewer crashes, more stability. One day, clarity returns without effort. Hunger becomes rational. Energy feels earned. Digestion becomes calm. And you realize nothing was missing. The system was simply drowned out. Sugar taught your cells a story of excess and safety. You can teach them a new one, a story of rhythm, of challenge, of respect for the intelligence encoded in your biology. Aging is not your enemy, miscommunication is, and when the message changes, so does the outcome. Your body is listening.